Although she is already 21 years old, she has never eaten fruit candy. Even entering a shop is a first for her, but she cannot bring herself to buy anything for herself and is only accompanying a coworker to buy white sugar. Seeing her shyness, the shopkeeper's wife does not mock her, but brings over a ladder, preparing to reach the sugar on the highest shelf. However, because she is not strong enough, she cannot move it at all. At this moment, the men outside the door only whistle at her, and not one of them steps forward to help. Nata has long been used to these unwanted stares. She walks to the door and calls in Iva, the only man who did not whistle. This instantly makes the other men jealous. Iva focuses only on helping Nata get the box from the shelf, never expecting that this chance encounter will crash straight into Janya's heart. Before leaving, Nata scoops out a spoonful of fruit candy and hands it to Janya. Janya waves her hands again and again, saying she cannot afford it. But Nata still gives the candy to her. Janya carefully puts the candy away, then goes with her coworkers to the big tree at the village entrance to wait for employers to come and pick workers. Seeing several bosses walking over from a distance, everyone stands up nervously. However, most of those chosen are strong men. Just when Janya thinks she will have no work today and earn no money, Marco, the man who owns the most land in the village, appears. Unexpectedly, he turns out to be Iva's father. Marco hires 12 workers, including Janya, to harvest sunflower seeds. Janya is happy to have work, but at the same time, seeing Iva makes her secretly excited beyond control. But she does not know that at this moment, a trap is slowly closing around her. During the week of harvest, the boss not only has to pay wages, but also provide food and lodging for everyone. Compared with Iva's mother's coldness and pride, Marco, as the boss, seems quite friendly. It is just that the way he looks at Janya always makes her feel uneasy. Although the place they sleep is a woodshed full of straw and the food is plain and simple, for an orphan who fled from a neighboring country, this is already a kind of happiness. Janya has no complaints about it. Early the next morning, the workers begin the harvest. They do not get a break until noon when Iva's mother brings lunch. Because the food is too hot, everyone waits for it to cool before eating. But Iva's mother thinks they are being lazy and deliberately dragging out their break. Fuming with anger, she adds a spoonful of cold water to everyone's bowl. But this behavior feels very wrong to Iva. Iva's kindness deepens Janya's feelings for him once again, but she never dares dream that she could marry into such a family. Then suddenly, a chance to get closer to the man she likes comes right to her door. The next day, Iva's mother takes out a bone with no meat left on it, intending to cook soup for the workers. Unexpectedly, with one careless movement, she twists both ankles. Since there is no one at home to cook and do housework, Marco goes to find Janya. He tells Janya to stay in the yard and help during this period, so she no longer has to harvest sunflower seeds and hurt her hands. She can be close to Iva and still earn the same wages as everyone else. For Janya, this feels like an enormous stroke of luck. She is completely lost in the sudden joy and does not notice that a pair of dangerous eyes is watching her at every moment. Soon, the sunflower seeds in the fields are fully harvested. Everyone receives the wages they have earned. Janya makes a small purse to hang around her neck, carefully puts the money inside, then tucks it into her clothes. Just as she is about to leave, Marco suddenly speaks up and asks whether she is willing to stay for a while longer. Just like that, Janya gets her wish and stays. She also moves from the straw-filled woodshed into a small room with a bed. As soon as the rooster crows in the morning, she gets up, puts on her shoes, and goes to clean the pig pen. Seeing that she has no rubber boots for work, Iva finds an old pair and brings them over. Janya has never worn shoes this good and is afraid of getting them dirty or damaging them. But Iva firmly tells her to put them on right away. Marco sees the warm conversation between the two of them clearly. His complicated feelings are soon replaced by anger. While Iva is fixing the framed picture that plays hymns, Marco suddenly loses his temper. On the surface, he is complaining that the music is too loud, but his wife knows very well where this hidden anger really comes from. Janya has no idea how dangerous her situation has become. After working all morning, she finally has time to wash herself. Right after, she must go prepare breakfast. She picks a few eggs from the chicken coop and makes a good meal for the family of 3. But she herself can only stand aside and wait for orders. She does not dare meet Iva's eyes, only shyly says that she will clean the rubber boots later, but Iva acts as if he has not heard her. Seeing this, Marco tells her to turn off the radio and go outside to work. But Janya has never seen such a device before and has no idea where to start. Although his wife looks annoyed, Marco defends her by saying that when he first bought it, he also took a long time to learn. Seeing Janya's nervous embarrassment, Marco says that after getting to know her during this time, he thinks she is a good person and has decided to give her a chance. Marco says, "I heard you have no family. Would you be willing to marry my son Iva?" His father's decision makes Iva storm out the door, but Marco says he is only shy. Although Janja is no longer very young and cannot bring any dowry, they do not mind such things at all. A man who made Janja's heart race the first time she saw him is also the son of the richest family in the village. Such a family is out of reach for any woman in her position, let alone Janja, a poor orphan girl. That night is the best sleep Janja has ever had in her life. Even the little mouse on the floor seems to be dancing for her, but how could she know that what lies ahead is a dark and painful road? When Nata learns that Janja is about to marry, she personally comes to make her dress. She takes care of every detail, as if Janja were her own daughter. Ever since she gave Janja candy at their first meeting, the shopkeeper's wife has had a soft spot for this quiet little girl. She is genuinely happy for Janja. On the wedding day, Iva and his father sit in the yard with heavy hearts. Janja sits nervously in the room, letting the older village women dress her and give her advice. Only when she sits in the wedding car does Janja finally show the joy of becoming a bride, happily waving to everyone. But Iva, as the groom, has a tense look on his face. This instantly kills Janja's good mood. During the church ceremony when he is supposed to kiss the bride, Iva barely touches her lips. There is none of the joy or excitement a newlywed should show. This grand wedding goes on all the way into the night. After the wedding dinner begins, everyone in the village comes to wish the couple well. Compared with Iva's coldness, Marco, as the father, is so excited that he sings and dances. During the gift-giving part for the newlyweds, he even pretends to sit casually between a married couple. One hand rests on the man's shoulder, while the other slips under the table. He lifts the man's wife's skirt. It is no secret that her husband has been involved with most of the women in the village. All along, Iva's mother has simply looked the other way. She cannot speak of it, and she does not dare to speak. Although the singing and dancing around them never stop, and the scene stays lively, the sharp-eyed Nota notices something is wrong. As the groom, Iva is sad all night and does not talk to the bride at all. Nota's husband and Marco have been close friends for decades, and he knows the situation in Marco's family very well. If he were not drunk today, he would never share this secret with his wife. The wedding does not end until early morning. Back in the room, Iva falls asleep as soon as his head touches the bed, completely ignoring his new wife. Early the next morning, Iva's mother takes away the couple's white bedsheet. She smears chicken blood on it, then washes it and hangs it in the yard to dry. She wants to fake the appearance that the two of them have slept together as husband and wife. At this point, although Janja has become part of the family, she still has to do a servant's work. After serving the family during meals, she also has to learn other housework under her mother-in-law's guidance. Her mother-in-law gives her old clothes from her own youth and tells her to change out of the rough clothes she is wearing, so she does not embarrass the family. Finally, her mother-in-law points to the painting in the living room and tells Janja that every Saturday she must carefully clean it. It is a family treasure and must not be damaged. Janja remembers every instruction from her mother-in-law and also learns how to keep food fresh in the well. While she is sweeping the yard, the village's biggest gossip comes over to borrow a plate, but her real reason is to find out whether the couple has already been together. At night, by the time Janja finishes all the housework, it is already 10 o'clock. However, as soon as she returns to the room, Iva takes his hunting rifle and goes out. For several days in a row, he leaves at night and comes back during the day. Janja does not even get a chance to talk to him. One day, Janja finds Nota's necklace at home, so she asks her mother-in-law for permission, goes to the shop, and personally returns the necklace to her. Inside the necklace box are photos of Nota's late parents. They are her most precious memories. Perhaps because both of them are orphans, Nota feels especially sorry for Janja. To say thank you, she wants to give Janja a new pair of rubber boots, but the size they have is 40, while Janja's feet are a small size 30H. She does not mind Janja's wet and dirty feet at all. After measuring them herself, she gets ready to give Janja a surprise. After returning from the shop, Janja tries to turn on the radio, but after trying several times, she still fails. Just then, Marco walks in. He not only shows her how to use it, but also jokes around with Janja from time to time. Nothing like her cold mother-in-law. What makes her feel even better is that Iva is no longer as cold and distant toward her as he was at first, although he still says very little. When his wife cannot move a basin of water, he steps in to help. Yet just as Janja grows closer and closer to happiness, her dream is completely shattered. That night, her mother-in-law asks Janja to bottle the cherry wine. She herself is going to church and will not return until very late. Janja has learned how to turn on the radio. She listens to music while filling every bottle. Because she has secretly taken a few sips, her cheeks are rosy and warm. Seeing this, Marco quietly walks in. While Janya bends over, he grabs her from behind. Although he pretends he is only helping, Janya stays calm on the surface and quickly runs to open the door. She thinks she may have misunderstood, but after coming out of the storage room, she still cannot get away from Marco. After being attacked, Janya is filled with shame and rage, yet has no idea what to do. She wants to secretly tell Iva what happened, but her mother-in-law keeps making sure the two of them are never alone. Janja is forced to go with Marco to the field to harvest pumpkins. Marco shamelessly tells her he is not a bad person and that she should not be afraid. If she tells anyone what happened, the one who faces everyone's judgment will be her, not him. Janja holds back her anger and dares not say another word. She has no power and no one to turn to, so she can only keep the pain inside. After returning home, her mother-in-law deliberately brings a village woman over to gossip. The village woman talks about a man who threw his wife out of the house because she could not have children. Her mother-in-law's goal is clearly reached. Worried that she will be thrown out too, Janja pretends that nothing has happened. That day, when she goes to the shop, Noda gives her the size 38 rubber boots that have arrived. This is her reward for finding a lost necklace. Before Janya leaves, Noda also gives her a big handful of fruit candy. This is the first time Janya has ever worn brand new shoes. She is so happy that she can hardly bear to take them off. However, when her mother-in-law sees them, she gets furious, thinking Marco paid for them. But what makes her even more upset is seeing Janya hanging up menstrual cloths to dry. Without another word, she rushes into the kitchen and curses Janya. She also falsely accuses Janya of breaking the plates that came with her dowry. Janya tries to defend herself, but her mother-in-law grabs her by the hair and refuses to let go, throwing her straight to the doorway. Marco at least says a few words in Janya's defense, but Iva, as her husband, acts as if he has seen nothing. After the storm passes, her mother-in-law changes her tone. She tells Janya to wash all the cabbages in the corner, preparing to pickle sauerkraut for winter. After giving all the orders, she goes to the market with Eva. Marco also goes to say goodbye to his old lover. He says he will soon become a grandfather and should no longer keep seeing her. At this moment, Janya has no one to share her pain and anger with, so she turns to alcohol to try and forget her troubles. When Marco returns, he brings her a few candied fruits. Janya does not hesitate and puts one into her mouth. While stomping hard on the pickled cabbage, she glares at Marco sitting across from her. But Marco pretends to check whether the sauerkraut is salty enough and walks straight over. Taking advantage of Janya, he reaches out his dirty hands once again. When Iva comes back, he only sees Janya scrubbing every inch of her skin as hard as she can. She stands before Iva and asks him why he keeps pushing her away. Iva does not dare look at her and says nothing. His silence completely breaks Janya down. Iva does not come home for 2 full days and nights, hiding in his old hunting spot deep in the woods. Janya refuses to let him run away again and goes to find him. This time, Iva finally tells her the painful truth he had been hiding. It turns out that when he was 8 years old, he was badly hurt by a wild boar. He can no longer live a normal married life. His parents had kept this secret all along. Except for the shopkeeper, no one else in the village knew about it. Janya holds her husband gently and tells him firmly that she will not leave him, nor will she look down on him. That night is the first time the couple has held each other while sleeping since their wedding. As this secret comes out, Iva's inner burden slowly lifts. The two begin acting like real lovers, laughing and staying close to each other. But this happy scene makes Marco burn with jealousy. Iva has no idea where his father's anger is coming from. He spends every day close to Janya. He helps her with housework and personally teaches her how to ride a bicycle. But after this short period of happiness, the ugly truth behind this marriage finally comes out. One day, while the two are shopping, Janya suddenly faints. When she wakes up, she is told that she is pregnant. Iva brings her home with a pale and angry face. After closing the door, he can no longer hold back and demands to know who the father of the child is. The appearance of his parents calms Iva down for the moment, but he goes back to his old hunting spot once again. Every wild boar in the forest feels like his enemy. It seems only the moment he pulls the trigger can quiet the rage inside him. Soon, news of Janya's pregnancy spreads through the whole village. Noda comes especially to visit, but as soon as she walks into the yard, she hears Janya crying. It turns out Marco is trying to hurt Janya again. From her husband's mouth, she also learns a horrible truth. It turns out Iva's mother planned this marriage together with her husband. She even quietly allowed Marco's actions. They did all of this simply to stop people in the village from talking. They wanted everyone to believe their son was a normal man, normal enough to marry and have children. Iva's mother prays every day, yet does terrible things. In the end, she must face the results of what she has done. The next day, Zhanya's cries fill the whole yard. After the doctor checks her, she has not only lost the baby, but will also never be able to have children again. Yet just after Zhanya's body has barely begun to heal, Marco tries to hurt her once more, and this time Iva sees it. As father and son fight, Iva accidentally pushes his father down. Marco falls straight onto the iron plow behind him and dies on the spot. His father's death finally frees Iva from everything that held him down. If his father had not gone to see his lover that day, leaving young Iva to wander into the woods alone, he would never have been hurt by the wild boar, and none of this tragedy would have happened. When all of this comes out, Zhanya finally breaks down completely. At times, she loses her mind. At times, she is calm. Every night, she holds a pillow and rocks it to sleep as if it were her child. She takes down her mother-in-law's most loved framed picture and plays the hymn to calm herself. Her mother-in-law, meanwhile, is in a panic, thinking only of getting the picture back. Iva has to carry all of this every single day. In the end, his mind gives out completely. On a foggy morning, he walks to the well and ends his short and painful life. When Nata arrives, she finds only the broken and barely conscious Zhanya, along with the mother-in-law who keeps muttering and reaching for the picture. After seeing her son in the well, the mother-in-law breaks down crying. Her scream shocks Zhanya back to her senses. She picks up Iva's leather shoes and carefully wipes them clean. Everything has changed completely, but to Zhanya, it feels as if she has come back to the very first day she arrived here. The next day, she wakes at the rooster's first crow. She is still in the small room where she stayed when she first came. The little mouse is still there too. But this time, Zhanya carries it to the doorway and sets it free. This is a reflection of her own life. After walking a road full of pain, she has finally found her own place in the world. She will no longer be afraid, because from now on, her back is straight. She has become the true and only owner of this place.